Oh, yeah. 232. Now, I have documented since 2011 that my rights have been violated. Yes. This state and every state has refused to acknowledge the actual laws of the United States. And then I documented that I was on the bus on December 31st. Right. And I was at this library. Oh, used a traffic citation to allege that I committed a violating of the protection orders. Yes. And then there's the criminal complaint. Now, these elements, right, there existed a protection order that was not issued according to the actual laws of the United States. It wasn't for the protection of Heidi Budnick, it was for the protection of the judiciary. Now, I was not a resident, yes. I did not get actual notice and opportunity to be heard in 2011. Yeah. And then my wife filed for dissolution of marriage on May 24th. Yes. And you reissued the protection order 1 week later. Oh. Now, I'm going to want to know of all the protection orders that have alleged domestic violence where one of the individuals decided, well, I'll just call the police and I'll say that he beat me up. Poop. He hit me. Oh, I actually didn't commit any domestic violence or child abuse. Pooch. Record's been expunged since 2012. Yes. Now, what happened was Heidi had arranged for plane tickets without my knowledge. Yes. She had abducted my sons, moved to Clallam County. You issued a protection order without any jurisdiction of law. And then after you did that, she lived at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. Yes. Until approximately November of 2011. Yes. 4 or 5 months. And then she went to the front of the line for Section 8 housing. Why don't you get me all of those that have been on Section 8 housing, the free welfare benefit? Yes. For those that are victims of domestic violence, where all it takes is a phone call to the police, yes, the arresting of the individual that they're living with, yes, and then them filing for a protection order without any due process to the actual respondent. And then they go to welfare, yes, and they say, well, I'm a victim. Now let's see here. Welfare. It is financial assistance or other aid. Yes. That a government provides for poor or needy people. Ouch. Oh. Public assistance, social assistance, or social welfare. Yes. Now, Medicaid, the Earned Income Tax Credit, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Yeah. You know, this 20 hours a week. Yeah. I realize that the TAMP benefit and then the SNAP benefit, you were going to obligate 80 hours a month, yes, in work or volunteering to the state, yes. Now, I would think any person that's a victim of domestic violence doesn't have to do that because they have to stay home and take care of the kids. And then there's the free medical that we're all eligible for that you wanted me to go on. Yes, because you say I'm crazy. Now, there's public housing and energy assistance. Pooch. Could you tell me if my wife actually paid any of her electrical bills when she got that free housing? I'd like to get the utility costs of an individual that received public housing because of the allegation that they're a victim of domestic violence. I'd like to know how much of the actual utilities did she have to pay? How much in actual cash aid did she receive? How much in actual supplemental nutrition assistance program? Now, let's look at it. I did the research on the WACs there, DSHS, housing. There's a 60-month limitation. Yes. It says here in the encyclopedia, in addition, most families can receive no more than 5 years of cash assistance during the lifetime of the head of the family. Yes. Now, I understand that that does apply to food stamps also. Yes. But when Heidi divorced me without a valid marriage certificate, yes. And I was the head of the family when we had filed our taxes for 10 years. Pooch, has she received more than 5 years? Now, it looks like there could be all kinds of fraud involved in issuing protection orders where there's no protection of due process to the respondent. Yes, yes. And then there's the issuance of dissolutions of marriage, Judge Rohr. Yes, where I didn't get any actual notice. Well, let's add it up. Oh, Heidi abducted my sons on July 2nd of 2011. Yes. Arranged for 7 plane tickets to be purchased, and on the morning that she left, she had me put in jail for 10 days. I did 7 hours of parenting classes, got my passport back, and was able to travel to my grandmother's on January 7th of 2012. It was a bad snowstorm that year. I moved to Clown County in March of 2012. Chooch. At that time, I thought that I would just wait for the protection order to expire. Yes. And then I would follow the advice of the evaluator. Yes. That we should have sought marriage reconciliation. Ooh. I called Healthy Families of Clallam County, explaining to them that they should have gotten the documentation. Right. That I did the 7 hours of parenting classes, and that if the actual petitioner, yes, had wanted reconciliation, right, it was her obligation to initiate that because I could not contact her. Now, as a domestic violence advocacy, the fiduciary obligation was to understand the evaluator's information, not mine. They should have gotten a copy of the drug and alcohol evaluation, yes, where I had not drank, or smoked any marijuana for 20 years. Pow, pow. Had no criminal record. Yes. My record was expunged after 1 year. Yes. I was on probation. Yes. And for some fucking reason right now, there looks like a large amount of actual wealth